Good afternoon, everyone. Today again we are here with another episode of Thoughts of Education, and today we have with us Divya Nalla ma'am, who is the director of Nallamalla Reddy Engineering College. Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you, ma'am, today?
Afternoon. Fine, thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
ma'am. So to start with, ma'am, we'd just like to have a brief introduction.
So I'm the director of Nallamalla Reddy Engineering College. Our college, it was established in the year 2001, and we have BTech, MTech, and MBA programs in our college. So I'm a doctorate in computer science from University of Hyderabad. So I do research in computer science and information security, and as well as engineering education research, basically. So this is about me.
Okay,
Yeah.
ma'am. That's really great. Ma'am.
Please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, you have been associated with the education for a very long time, and as you have said, you have been doing a lot more research. So, what is the inspiration, ma'am, behind being impacted with the education domain for such a long time?
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, my motive is to contribute something to the society. So for that reason, I got into education field where through education I really want to contribute something to the society, because we can make students better students come out of the college, so that they'll be contributing something to the society. Yeah,
Ma'am,
this is my main reason for getting into education.
that's really great. Ma'am.
Our college is, we aim at providing quality education, and that is because now in the current situation, providing education is, there are many institutions who do that, but providing the proper education and quality education is something which is lacking, which needs to be concentrated on. So this is what we are trying to concentrate on.
Right, ma'am. So, ma'am, Nandamalla Reddy Engineering College is a very big college, ma'am. Like, if I talk about the students, the huge number of students in the institution, the staff, and the faculty, everything, you are managing a very big team over there, ma'am. So, what is the leadership style do you follow, ma'am?
There's no specific leadership style, but one thing what I would like to tell is, see, you have to be, as a leader, you have to be convinced about something, and then once you are convinced about that, convince the people whom you are working with, and then make them work towards that particular goal. This is a necessity wherever, whichever organization, anywhere in any organization, any leader should have these skills. So we actually, our motive is to provide good curriculum and make the students better. For that, yes, train them and then do the same thing with the students. I mean, the students also, we motivate them and then improve them. But for these things to work out as at a leadership role, the policies and the processes have to be set up right. Once you set up the policies and process right, everyone can work according to the requirement. They can work easily, and the results would also be as expected. So basically formulating the policies and the processes, is setting the processes, is something very important, which I think I'm trying to do in the institute.
Right, ma'am. So, if I talk about the policies and the processes, ma'am, curriculum is something which is, from a student point of view and from an institution point of view, it's very much important. So, how you are devising the curriculum of your institution so that it is following the best practices in the industry, ma'am?
Yeah, actually, till now we have been affiliated to the university, JNTU Hyderabad. So university has been giving the curriculum, but in spite of that, now we are becoming autonomous from this year on. But even in the university curriculum, what we did was, we actually had industry relation with every department. The industries related to that particular department were attached to the departments. Some of the people from the industry were board members in the department board of studies, and taking their advices, and we took advices even from the people who were recruiting our students, and also we had some collaborations for some projects. From these different sources, we used to take inputs from the industry people, and we used to find out what are the things that are lacking in the current curriculum to suit the industry. So we used to conduct workshops for the students and training programs specifically. And then every student in our college, um, they undergo at least one industrial visit every semester. It's mandatory. And then at the end of every academic year, they undergo at least one internship in an industry. So this actually gives them, I mean, the curriculum is also enriched, and also the students get to know what is going on in the industry, and what is expected from them in the industry. And also we conduct something called Industry Institute Research Meet every year. We do that, and we invite people from all the different kinds of industries related to each department. And these industry people, regularly we do have guest lectures from the industry people, but in the Industry Institute Research Meet, what we do is we ask the students, they prepare their projects and their models, and they conduct an exhibition for the industry people, and they take inputs from the industry people to refine these ideas further. This actually will strengthen the research component, on which the students are working. So so that they can relate their works to the industry, and then they can work accordingly. So these are the things we are trying to do.
Okay, ma'am. So at current point of time, ma'am, we can see that when it comes to the ranking of this institution, whether it be an NRF ranking or ranking by any of the private research institutions, research is something, ma'am, which is always on the top when we come for any of the technical education. So, and association of the college with different industry partners or with different research institutes is something which is very importance which is given. So how the students in your, if they're getting admission and then they're studying at NMRC, so how your institution is supporting them for doing more and more research, and also putting or investing in their ideas?
Actually, we have research centers set up in all the departments, because we have core engineering branches like civil engineering, electrical, mechanical, then computer science and electronics engineering. So we have research centers for each of these departments, where we have about 40% of our teachers are doctorates actually, and apart from these, there are about 20 more percentage of teachers who are pursuing PhDs. So this is one aspect. But what in the college, one thing is, students have to understand how to do research. They have to get an experience of doing research. This is what we need to teach them when they're in their undergraduation. They may not be doing path-breaking research in the undergraduate period, but they have to first understand how to do research. That research culture has to be built in the students. That thing we are trying to do during our classwork itself. They are made to read research papers and present them, which actually is going to give them a very good idea about how to do research. And there are students who are doing a lot of innovations. They are doing they have done some projects, and some of our students who have done their project they've been covered in the newspapers. And some students, they have done a project, and recently one company, they have taken them to design that particular solar bike, and then it's there in the market now. These students have developed that. And there are some students who have who filed for patents for fostering, for the encouraging this innovation among students. We have an incubation center in the college. That incubation center, what it does is, the students come with their ideas, and this incubation center helps them, mentors them, and with the help of outsiders also. We have collaboration with T-Hub also, and some other industries also, they come in, they help them in, they mentor them in developing their ideas further, and then prototyping their models and all. And there are, I am very happy to say that at least only this year, this academic year 1920, there were at least 14 startups. I mean, 14 batches of students who came with their ideas and they were registered. Some of them are in the process of registering for startups. So it's a, see, once you develop the student in their basic skills. I mean, they are thorough in their fundamentals, and they know what is going on around. I think that we should develop their life skills and then send them out. Once you do that, they can sustain any kind of. I mean, they can really become very much useful to the society. These engineering students, basically, they are expected to solve societal problems. This is what an engineer is expected to do. They have to identify society, the problems existing, and then provide solutions to them. This is this I mean, that thinking of the students in terms of societal concern is something we need to develop in the students, which we are doing. I mean, because nowadays it's so happening that all the engineering students, most of them, their aim is to get a multinational company. Most of them, I mean, or earn a lot of money. See, earning will automatically be there, but you have to be useful to the society. This is, I mean, your education, your as a citizen of this nation, you have to be contributory. This is something we need to imbibe in the students. We are trying to do something in those lines.
Right, ma'am. That is really, really great to hear, ma'am, that adding the value to the society is really a very important thing. Yeah. Ma'am, as we continue, that Telangana government is also at current point of time, they have announced that there will be a very upcoming jobs in the field of data science and the field of machine learning. So these are some of the emerging courses which are we have also analyzed that these are something which is being introduced in Andhra Pradesh and in the Telangana region. So any movement your institution is also doing in it now?
Yes. We used to conduct these workshops for the students on data science, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. Earlier, since the past 2-3 years, we have been doing those things. In addition to the curriculum, actually, we were doing that. But this year, we have actually started BTech in artificial intelligence and machine learning in the college. The students have been doing projects in these areas. They have been doing, and see, even if the curriculum, even though we were affiliated to the university, the curriculum did not restrict us to, as in learning about all these things. It's our interest. So we have to decide what we want to learn. So we definitely had collaborations with the industry in these different niche areas where the students used to get training from the industry. We did that. So we are now starting this BTech program also.
Right, ma'am. So, ma'am, we can also see in the recent times, ma'am, that the students who are who are passing out there, they are aspiring to have a job in a multinational company or in a very good career. That is how their objective has been right from the beginning when they're choosing a college, when they're studying, they're moving out. So how have your institution, like how is the placements going on in your institution, ma'am, and how is the collaboration with the industry?
Yeah. The students have been well placed in the past years, and see, as I told you already, yes, once you build up their fundamentals and once you train them up thoroughly, I don't think placements issue. Most of the students who are eligible to get placed in good companies, yes, as you said, yes, aiming at a multinational company or aiming at a high paying job is something most of the students are preferring. Yes, definitely our students, they are getting placed very well. But personally, what I advise to all the BTech students is to opt for higher studies, because later on you will not get a chance to study. That's for sure. In life, probably at a later stage, it's difficult to go back and study. So if they have parents who can support them, or if they have a chance, I want to insist. I usually insist all my students. I tell them, you try for higher education because once you are studying post graduation or doing research, it not only improves you in the subject alone. It's not only the subject, it's your mind which develops, your thinking develops. That is very much essential. Once you develop your thinking, your mind broadens actually. So this is essential for the society also, and for you as a person. So if given a chance, it's better to maybe people must be thinking, even after after BTech, if I get a 30 lakh job, maybe after graduation I have to start. But the thing is, your thinking changes once you do some postgraduate or research oriented study. Your thinking definitely changes, improve. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, I'll just like to know, ma'am, what is the vision of the institution, ma'am, or is it the vision of yours for the upcoming 10 years, ma'am? Where you want to take this?
Yeah. Uh, Earlier we were not into these rankings and all. We were doing, we were more concentrating on the teaching aspect of the, because an institute, it's basically for teaching. Yeah, it's an undergraduate courses what we are offering. Basically, the concentration would be on teaching, but rankings basically they are aiming. They have a different approaches. Like apart from teaching, they concentrate on the research aspect, which is equally weighted. That is the reason when you see the All India rankings and NARF rankings, in those rankings, the first rankings are all the IITs, just because of the research component. It's only because of the research component there's a variation between things. When you national level institutions, and then the next institutions which are coming in, there's a lot of variation in the research marks which are there for the top 10 and the next things. So this research component, yes, I know it's a very important aspect for teaching also, but the thing is, there should be quality in the research what you're doing. It's not, when people started saying the research is necessary for promotions and all, everyone started publishing, and they started all the plagiarism, fake journals, and all these came up. This needs to be curbed actually. So for all these rankings and all, people try to resort to all these different fake publications and things like that. So we were not into that race any time, but now we have set up these research centers, and we have more people doing research. And yes, definitely the research output has increased in 10 years. As you said, we want to be in one of the top rankings in NIRF through all these our research contributions. Our teaching contributions we are at a very good level. We can vouch for it, because we have a very good training programs set up for our teachers. And these trainings, these basically for accreditations and all, they expect certain things to be done in teaching and teaching learning process. So these things, we don't do it for documentation purpose. We actually implement them in the classroom. We actually implement each and everything, whatever is expected in outcome-based education, in MBAs and all accreditation. So these things, when we implement them, see, talking about all these theoretically is very easy. It's very easy. But doing it in practice, implementing them in the class is a challenge. So this we have overcome by training all our teachers, and they are really they are fully trained. Our teachers are fully equipped. Wherever they go, they can really implement all these different new teaching methods and all the international level teaching practices. Actually, our teachers are also at least 50% of our teachers are certified internationally. There's an actually international certification for engineering educators. So these certification are most of the teachers are certified in. So the reason why I'm telling this is essential. Teaching is a most important part in making the students better, in getting better outcomes. So for that we do trainings of the teachers and all, and definitely this teaching learning process uh, we have good command over, and we have good outcomes coming out. But the research component, we are improving since the past 3 years. We have improved a lot. We have done lot of patents have also been applied, and still there are seeing some of the seniors, the juniors are also coming out with their ideas and coming with the patents applications and all. So we definitely hope to be at a very good rank in NRF in the next few years,
That's
not 10 years, in next 2 or 3 years.
Yes, ma'am. That's really great, ma'am. And College Dunia wishes Anna Mercy and you, ma'am, a very good best of luck, ma'am, for all these aggregations, ma'am. Ma'am, also, there will be many of the people who will be listening to this video, and this interaction has been really very fruitful, ma'am. So, what is the message would you like to give to the current youth, ma'am, and your students, your alumni, everyone who will be looking at and watching this video?
Yeah. Before that, just missed out talking about our internationalization efforts. Actually,
Okay.
see now this NEP National Education Policy also talks about internationalization. I mean the reason. I mean now for this globalization, there is a lot of requirement that you understand about, we understand about what others are doing, and others also understand, other countries also understand what we are doing.
Right.
So we are part of one project on internationalization of higher education institutions in India and Nepal.
Okay.
So this is European Union funded project. We from India, there are 5 institutions which are involved in this project, and there is a university from Spain and one university from Portugal. These are part of this particular project, and we have done a recent survey also on what are the internationalization efforts which are being taken up in all the educational institutions in India. So we have done that survey, the results of which we are going to present on 5th of November actually.
Okay.
And for this internationalization, actually from our institution, 2 of the students actually they were, because of our collaborations with different universities in different countries, 2 of our students, they got fully funded scholarships for studying 1 semester at a Spanish university. And we have some collaboration with other university like University of Oregon, where the professors they directly guide our students for their projects, for BTech projects actually. So these and also there are this just in this pandemic, during this pandemic, from May till now, about 80 students were trained in AI, then entrepreneurship, then clean and green campus, then soft skills. These different courses, they were offered by professors from very very famous professors in those areas from different countries of the world.
That's great.
So we had all these things. These are our efforts in internationalization part. And also our students, they get to, so because of our collaborations, they can go to some universities which we are collaborating with. They can go to those universities with full aid and all. So, and coming to your question, what you have asked, what message for the students? Yes. See, now in the current situation, the basics, what we are observing generally in students is that they are weak in their basics. Yes, students they are coming with their percentages, marks and all, but they are very weak in the basics of education. Basics of education, like framing a sentence properly without mistakes. Even that is lacking among many students. And also, when we see engineering students here, when the students come for engineering, they lack in intermediate, they study some mathematics. They don't remember those things by the time they come here. I mean, I don't know how they have studied that in their intermediate. They have full marks in there. The basics, whatever they have studied in their school, if they have to be thorough. And then once they come here, that is the main reason for this employability issue. It's not the question of engineering colleges are not teaching. Engineering colleges are putting in their efforts, but they're coming in without these basics. That is this part and up concern, societal concern. That's what I was talking about earlier. They have to have concern towards the society. They should be encouraged to develop social consciousness. Maybe it develops at home, but the colleges also have to strive to do that, and they should understand their role in the society. What is their responsibility as engineers? What are they responsible for? That has to be understood by the students, not only just getting degrees and earning for themselves. What should be their contribution to the society? And then the third thing is about scientific temper. See, these days we are seeing a lot of development in technology and all, but at the same time, there's a lot of the scientific temper is also lacking at the same time. People try to give some illogical explanations to certain things and all. They're not trying to think scientifically. Even the so-called educated engineering students also. So this developing scientific temper among the youth is one of the most important things. It is only then, because these are all science students, it is only then the society is going to develop, right? So these are the things I wanted to tell you to the current students, youth.
That is really a very wonderful thing, and yes, the society needs to understand, especially the students who are graduating from background, and they must have that scientific temperament in them. Then only we can develop and become our nation's candidates, right now. So, talking about this conference, ma'am, which we are having on 5th, right, ma'am? So, how can people join, ma'am, this? So, we'll be having a webinar on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll give a. Yeah. We'll give a link to a form which they can fill up if they're interested in, so that we can send them the link of that particular webinar.
Okay,
the thing is, it's a survey it's a survey which has been done for in India and Nepal in the institutions, and then these survey results are being shared so that people will can understand what is the internationalization effort which has been put up in the institutions, and what they can probably do to improve their internationalization aspect.
Right, ma'am. So
it will be useful for the institutions.
Right, ma'am. Right. So we'll be putting the link in the description box over here, ma'am. And then the people whosoever is interested in getting to know more about this research, they can get and they can join. Right, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot for your time, ma'am. It was really wonderful to talk to you, ma'am. And all the insights which you have given about NMRC will be very much beneficial to all the students who will be. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you very much.